Hello, this is GSR Kalyani, lecturer in computer science. Good morning, students. In this video, I would like to discuss data information, database, DBMS, and its objectives. Of course, in our first video, Introduction to DBMS, we have discussed data information, database, and DBMS briefly. In this video, we are going to learn all these things very clearly, which are helpful for understanding clearly the efficient database management system, database systems. Okay, students, let's start. Data. Data plays a vital role in any information system. Without proper data collection, without proper data management, can you do any business operations? No, not at all. Okay. For example, without maintaining your students' data and marks data, can university produce a mark list? No, not at all. Without maintaining trains details, tickets details, passenger details, can you get a ticket in a railway station or bus station? No, not at all. Okay, so when you observe anywhere, the data collection is very, very important. So first of all, we are going to know about what data is. Data are nothing but the raw facts associated with an individual entity or an event which does not convey any meaning at all. So, what is an individual entity? So, entity is nothing but a person, a place, a thing or an event about which data will be collected and stored. Okay, and those facts are unorganized facts. That means to reveal its meaning, we need to process it. Otherwise, it does not convey any meaning at all. Right, students? Data are the raw facts which are recorded in many forms. Okay, so when you collect the data in an organization, it can be collected in many forms like text, numbers, images, audios, videos, like that. For example, of course, you need to maintain the phone numbers, weights. We need to collect the data about phone numbers, weights, prices, costs, and user responses. Already we discussed so many examples in first video, and follow this video also, that video also. Okay, girls. Take an example of a list of dates data. Of course, by seeing those dates, what you understand? Just understand those are dates. When you process those dates in context only, it reveals its meaning. Is it right? Okay. That means when you know about a list of dates or belongs to date of holidays or date of births or date of joining, it's meaningful. Otherwise, those facts are not meaningful. That's why data should be processed to reveal its meaning with its context only. Context is very, very important to reveal the meaning of the facts. Coming to information. Information is nothing but the processed data to reveal its meaning. Okay, so to reveal the meaning of the data, the information should be processed in context only. That is called information. So, which type of information you have to produce from the data? What are the qualities for the information you have? We required accurate, timely and relevant information always. Okay, students? Actually, this type of information is very, very useful for good decision making, and good decision making is the key to survival in the global environment. What it means? When you have a proper data collection in your hand, you can generate useful information from that processed data. Okay, so if you have right information in your hand, you need to able to take better decisions by the business managers in the business environment. When you take better decisions in the business environment, it leads to success of an organization. That means data are the basic building blocks of information. From that information, you can get an knowledge. By using that knowledge, you can take better decisions. Better decisions always leads to success of an organization. For example, students, just observe this example. When you have some facts like 8.5, 9.5, 9.0, 8.0. So by seeing this, you cannot understand. So after processing the data in its context, you get the information. What the information you get? These are the credits secured in 4 subjects in first and final exams with an average of 8.4. Okay, from that information, what we get, what knowledge we get, the passed in O grade. Okay, based on the knowledge you got, you can take some decisions. So what decisions, which decisions you have to take? The fees concession will be given. Why? Because that student passed in O grade. Okay, this is the example of how example for data, information, knowledge and decision. Just see this diagram, generating information from the decision making. Here the data or some raw facts are there. By using some application programs, we need to process the data to generate information. Here the information presented in the graphical format. Of course, already we know that always graphical representation is better way to understand than the descriptive format. Okay, so by using this information, you can take better decisions by the business managers, which enhances success of an organization. The next point is the data in the database management system can be broadly classified into 2 types. Okay, that means in DBMS we are going to maintain 2 types of data importantly. One is end user data and next one is metadata. End user data nothing but the raw facts of interest to the end user. Okay, that means the collection of data or facts needed by an organization. For example, if you take our college, we are going to maintain the students' data, marks data, employees' data, salaries data, like that. Okay, so whatever facts we are going to collect in an organization, those facts are known as end users data. And what is coming to the metadata? Metadata is nothing but the data about databases data, okay, which helps to manage and access the contents in the database. It is also known as data about data or data dictionary or self-describing data also. Okay, to simply understand the metadata concept, let us take an example of textbook. Okay, so in textbook we have so many pages and so many chapters, so many units are there. At the end of the textbook, we have an index page. I know all of you know very well what's the index page is. Okay, what it contains, actually the index page is just like a metadata. So the index page contains the data about the information about the textbook's data, which helps to locate the contents very easily. What it contains, each index page contains the topics in an alphabetical order with page number also. Okay, for every figure also it provides page number. So by following the index page, we can locate the contents very easily rather than searching each and every page in your textbook. Okay, Likewise, the metadata helps to manage and access the contents in the database. Okay, that means it provides the data about databases data. It's very important point. Do you understand, students? Okay. The next thing is the data in files or databases should be persistent and consistent. Okay, so that means we need to maintain the persistent data and consistent data in all databases. It's very important point. What is persistent and what is consistent? Coming to the persistent. Persistent means the permanent storage of data called as persistent data. Every organization needs permanent storage of data. That type of data is nothing but persistent data. And coming to the consistent. Consistent nothing but we always we should maintain accurate copy of data in all files in the database. Okay, that means what it means. Existing the same version of same data appears in all files or places enhances the consistency. For example, if you want to you maintain your phone number in 10 different files in college. Okay, so you need to store same copy of phone number in 10 different files. It yields the consistent data. Okay, so in databases data, we should maintain the consistent data and also we require persistent data. Okay. The next important topic is database. The database is a collection of logically related files or tables. It is an logical data repository. Database is a logical data repository. What is the difference between the logical data repository and physical data repository? Actually, the data repository means the place where our whole information is to be stored and maintained. Okay. Here the logical data repository means it's a place where our logically related files are integrated together as a single unit and appeared as a single unit to the end users. Even the data might be physically distributed among multiple storage facilities or locations and departments also. Okay, just see this diagram. It's a simplified database view. Okay, in this database we are going to maintain logically related files as a single unit. Actually, those files are belongs to several departments in an organization or several branch offices in from several locations also. Okay, so whatever the database maintains all the logically related files as a single logical unit and those data can be accessed by the multiple users. Okay, those users belongs to several departments or several branch offices in an organizations like that. Okay. Efficient data management typically requires the use of computer database. Okay, now we are going to manage our data in computer systems. That's why we require an efficient computer database. Okay, and one more important point regarding the database is the database presents a major change in the way the end users data are stored, accessed and managed. Okay. Okay, just listen carefully. Already we know that the file system characteristics. In file system, those files are unrelated files. Those are individual files. Okay, no data sharing between those files and no relation between those files. There is no provision of accessing the multiple users also. Okay, so all those disadvantages omitted in the database. Okay, for that purpose the DBMS provides an important component. That component is nothing but database. So the database represents a major change in the way the end user's data are stored, accessed and managed. Okay. Finally, so what is the definition of database? Database is nothing but a shared integrated computer structure that stores a collection of end users data and metadata. Okay, see once this diagram. In this database, the data, all logically related data are to be maintained as a single unit in the database. That database data should be shared among all multiple users, and also it integrates all the logical files from different sources as a single logical unit. That's why the database computer structure is a shared and integrated structure. Okay, in that integrated structure, we need to store a collection of end users data and also metadata. What is end users data? The data needed by the organization are nothing but end users data. Okay, and metadata is nothing but data about data. This is also called data dictionary also. So by using this metadata, the end users data are integrated and managed in the database. Okay, with the help of the metadata's data, the data can be integrated and managed in the databases. Okay, just understand this point clearly, students. Okay, already I told you all the files are related in database in DBMS. Okay, that means some of the relationships existing among those logically related files. So the metadata describes the data characteristics of data. So what are the data characteristics? In file we are going to maintain some fields like roll number, name, marks, like that. Okay, so when you specify a field name, along with the field name you need to mention the type of the data and size of the data you have stored in that field. Okay, those are the data characteristics. So here the metadata provides a description of the data characteristics like data type and size and set of relationships among those files within the databases. Okay, see these two tables, one is student data and next one is metadata of the student data file. Okay, in college database. In student file, there are several fields are there: roll number, name, marks, address, cell. Okay, and that just I used to store only one record: 101 Sharda 80 Eluru, and 9999 is the phone number. Okay, so metadata tells about tables, fields, data types and relationships and constraints also. Okay, just observe this metadata. So metadata contains here just observe the field names: the column name, data type and description. The first column is roll number and the second column is name, and third column marks, fourth column address and fifth column cell. Okay, and along with the column name, the metadata tells about the data type. In roll number we are going to store numbers data, that's why the data type used as number. And in name column we are going to store characters, that's why it shows the varchar data type. Okay, coming to the description: roll number, data type number, description, it's a primary key, it's a constraint. Later we discuss about the students. And coming to the name, next one varchar. Description, coming to the description: name stores name of the student. And third one marks also contains number data, so data type is shown as number, and description is nothing but marks in the MEDSEM, like that. Okay, of course just I showed only 3 fields. So many details are to be maintained in the metadata, which are used to integrate and manage the data within the databases. Okay, and some more points about databases are: the database should contain all the data needed by the organization. That means it needs large volumes of it stores huge volumes of data and needs long-term storage also, and the data within the databases can be accessed by several number of users also. Okay, So the databases data can be accessed by even though the data can be used by the several users, the databases data should maintain its integrity. Okay, what is integrity? Integrity is nothing but correctness of data is nothing but integrity. There is a difference between integration and integrity. Okay, let me clear. Integrity is nothing but always the correctness of data and verifiable data in the database is known as integrity. Integration means combining the data from multiple sources as a single logical unit is nothing but data integration. Okay, remember this difference very clearly, girls. See this diagram. This is an example for a Tiny College database. It contains several files like student, enrollment, professor, class, course, room. Observe one thing you observe. All files are related to some other files. Okay, the student file related with the enrollment, and enrollment related with the class file, and professor relates with the class relates to room file and course file and enrollment file, like that. So all those files are, even though all those files are belongs to several departments, but the database integrate all these logically related files from different departments as a single logical unit. Okay, this is the concept of database. Next, coming to the DBMS. What is DBMS? Okay, so in order to maintain the database's data, in order to manage the data in the database, store the data in the database, perform operations in the database, we need the help of softwares. Okay, that software, the powerful, efficient data management software is nothing but DBMS. Okay. Finally, what is DBMS? DBMS is a collection of programs that manages the database structure and also controls access to the data stored in the database. Okay. Finally, it's a very efficient database management software helpful in maintaining and utilizing a database. There are several databases softwares were developed like Oracle, SQL, MySQL, SQL Server, Microsoft Access, like that. Just you observe the diagram, a database system. In that database system, it's a sales organization database system. In that database system, there are three departments are there. Okay. One is personal department, and second one is sales department, and third one is accounting department. So each department maintains its related files. Personal department is going to maintain details regarding the employees and customers. Sales department maintains the details regarding the sales of the products and also inventory. Inventory is nothing but godown. Okay. The place where our products are stored are nothing but inventory. So those inventory details are to be maintained by the sales department. And coming to the accounting department. Okay, so all the sales and purchases details are to be maintained by the accounting department. Okay, account section. All these different logically related files from different departments are to be maintained as a single logical unit in the database. Just you observe this database. Okay, in that database it's going to maintain the employees file, customers file, sales, inventory and accounts. Okay, along with in database these files data are known as end users data. Along with end users data, it is going to maintain the metadata for each and every file in the database that are helpful to integrate and manage the data within the databases. Okay. So without DBMS software, these departments cannot maintain, cannot access the data from the databases. Okay. So interact the databases, to interact the databases or to store the data within the databases, to manage the data within the databases, they need one software. That powerful software is nothing but DBMS. Just you observe. Okay, all department employees are using DBMS software. By using DBMS software only, they are going to interact with the database tables. Okay, that means whatever information they want, they have to retrieve from the database with the help of only DBMS. This is the backbone of database management system. The heart of database system is nothing but DBMS software. Okay. So, and one more important points regarding databases, DBMS or the DBMS. Okay. Dividing into two parts. One is DB and next one is MS. DB is nothing but database. The first part is known as DB, database, which contains interrelated and persistent data. Okay, the second part in the DBMS is MS. MS is nothing but management system. That management system contains a set of application programs which are used to access, update and manage the data. And the DBMS is it's a general purpose software. Okay, it's not restricted to any specific application development. Okay, that means in various applications development we can use DBMS, like in railway reservation system, library management, university, shopping malls, hospitals, anywhere you can use this DBMS software. So this is a general purpose software. This not restricted to any specific application development. One more important point is, okay. So next important topic is the objectives of DBMS. Okay. So what are the main important purpose of DBMS? Actually the objectives there are 4 objectives. Of course, so many objectives. These are the 4 objectives, main important objectives of DBMS. Those are: 1, data availability, and next one is data integrity, and next one is data security, and next one is data independence. Okay, coming to the data availability. Okay, already we discussed. The database's data can be accessed by the multiple users of several departments or several branch offices within the organization. So the data availability refers that the data is available to wide variety of users, okay, in a meaningful format at reasonable cost also. That's why by using DBMS databases, the users can easily access the data within the reasonable cost. Okay. And coming to the data integrity. So data integrity refers the correctness of data in the database. Always the data should be in accurate format. Okay. That means the data available in the database is a reliable data. The correct form of data should be maintained in the database. That leads to data integrity. It's very important point. Why? Because that database's data can be used by multiple users to do their business operations. That's why data always should be correct form, should be accurate. Okay, that is the property of data integrity. Coming to the data security. Okay, actually data security it's one of the main disadvantages in the file system. Coming to the data security, the data security features provided by the DBMS system. Okay, efficient security features are to be provided within the DBMS system. Okay, that means only on the authorized users can access the database. Okay, actually the data security can be implemented by using the passwords. That means in order to log on to the database, you need to enter your username and password. Okay, if you have an authorized user only, the database can log on to you in the database system. Otherwise, it cannot allow you to enter into the database system. Okay. And one more important point is if any data losses are there, recovery options or recovery features are to be provided in the DBMS system itself. Okay. Sometimes data may be lost due to hard disk crashes, due to electricity disturbances, like that. Okay, so in that case, there should be a chance of recovery of data. Okay, that means backup and recovery features are to be included in the DBMS itself. Okay, and one more important point is if two separate users are accessing a particular data at the same time, the DBMS must not allow them to make conflict changes. Okay, that means actually when there is a database data, that data can be accessed by the multiple users at a time. Okay, some of the users trying to access the same data, trying to make same changes in the same data at the same time. Okay, but the DBMS must not allow them to make conflict changes, always trying to always maintain the integrity of data in the DBMS. This is the main important feature in the DBMS. And the last objective of DBMS is data independence. Okay, so what is data independence? Already I told you the file system exhibits data dependence. If you make any changes in the data characteristics, you need to change the application program also. Conversely, the data independence means when it is possible to make changes in the data storage characteristics without affecting the application program's ability to access the data. Okay, that means if you make any changes, when you make any changes in the data characteristics, you need not to change the application's code that are used to access the data. Okay, that is called as data independence. Okay, so first of all, before example, changing the data type or size of a field, like changing phone number field data type to number to character. Okay, so but if you make any changes in the data characteristics, you need not to change in the application code. The reason behind the data independency property is the DBMS provides an abstract view of how the data is stored in the database. Let us know about data abstraction. Actually, the database systems are made up of complex data structures. To ease user interaction with the database, the DBMS developers hides the internal irrelevant details to the end user. Okay, girls, the process of hiding details from the end user is called data abstraction. Just see this diagram. In this diagram, it provides three levels of abstraction. One is physical level, and second one is logical level, and third one is view level. Okay, coming to the physical level. Actually, this is very lowest level of data abstraction. It describes how the data are actually stored in the database. Okay, and coming to the logical level. In logical level, it's a middle level of abstraction. It describes what data stored in the database. Okay, actually physical level is a DBMS view and the logical level is a database designer's view. Coming to the view level. View level is the end user's level. It's a high level of data abstraction. This level describes the user interaction with the database system. Okay. Let us take one example for that. For example, we are storing students' information in the student table. Okay. At physical level, these records can be described as blocks of storage, like in bytes or gigabytes or terabytes in memory. These details are often hidden from the programmers. Okay, this is the only database view. All storage details are to be hidden from the programmers. Okay, and coming to the logical level. In logical level, these records can be described as fields and attributes along with their data types and their relationships among each other can be logically implemented. Okay, students? Actually, the application programmers or database designers generally work at this level because they are aware of such things about database systems. And coming to the view level. View level means end users. In this level, the users are end users. End users level, this one is. The end users just interact with the help of GUI, graphical user interface, and enter the details at the screen. They are not aware of how the data is stored and what the data is stored. Such details are hidden from them. Okay, this abstraction feature ensures the data independency. Why? Because it separates data from the physical storage details. That's why if you make any changes in the data characteristics, you need not to change the application's code that are used to access the data within the databases. Okay, girls? And coming to the FAQ, frequently asked questions. There are two questions in this from this topic. Define data information DBMS database and DBMS for 5 marks. That's very important and compulsory question. And next question is essay question. What are the objectives of DBMS? Okay. If you girls, if you have any doubts, just contact me immediately to clarify your doubts. First, listen carefully and understand the subject. Okay. Of course, this is a very typical subject. Just listen carefully, and if you have any doubts, immediately contact me to clarify your doubts. Okay. Thank you.